So guys, the northern leaders, northern governors have come under fire after they had an emergency meeting where they agreed that they are going to be contributing 1 billion naira every month to fight insecurity in Nigeria. They are being accused of hypocrisy, that they are taking advantage of the uneducated children during election, and that is one of the reasons why we have all this insecurity. Don't also forget that apart from the homegrown insecurity or terror guys, we also have those of them that were imported from neighboring countries, like you can see from this headline here. It says that they imported Fulani militias from Sierra Leone, Mali, Senegal, and after the election they didn't know what to do with them again. They refused to go back. And now this human rights lawyer has written a very long letter to the northern elders and northern governors, accusing them of hypocrisy. Let me quickly read this, and it says, the hypocrisy of northern leaders. You cannot fuel insecurity for years and now pretend to seek solution. The attention of the public has been drawn to the communique issued by the 19 northern governors and the Northern Traditional Rulers Council after their emergency meeting in Kaduna, where they called for a 6-month suspension of mining activities, a 1 billion monthly regional security fund, and full support of state police. Nigerians must not forget the historical truth. This human lawyer started enumerating. Now, let's start. It says, the very same northern political, religious, and traditional elites who now claim to be searching for solutions are the ones who created, nurtured, defended, and protected the insecurity consuming Nigeria today. Number one, northern leaders legitimize and romanticize bandits for years. Influential northern politicians, clerics, and community leaders openly describe bandits as freedom fighters, peacemakers, individuals to be negotiated with, compensated, and granted amnesty. He went further to say that some even provided them moral justification and political cover. They refused to label them as terrorists, preferring weak euphemism like misguided youth. Today, those same leaders now want Nigeria to believe they are suddenly ready to confront the monster that they created. The northern leaders created these monsters. This lawyer cited number 2 points, and he said, the instability we face today did not start today. For over 2 decades, northern elites propagated, implemented, and institutionalized the Sharia criminal system, justice system in 12 states. That they introduced the Sharia, created a dual unequal legal regime within a supposed secular republic, undermined national cohesion, inspired radicalization and parallel loyalty structure. This deliberate political project fractured national unity and laid the foundation for today's extremism and lawlessness. Number 3, they weaponize poverty and refuse to educate their children. and refuse to educate their children. Northern leaders also refuse to prioritize basic education, allowed millions of out-of-school children, the highest in the world, weaponized poverty as a political tool, allowed ignorance, hunger, and unemployment to create the perfect breeding ground for banditry. Now, the same leaders who deliberately engineered mass literacy suddenly want billions deducted at source every month to fight insecurity. So, guys, he went further to say, number 4, illegal mining has funded banditry for years. Communities screamed, experts warned, security agencies reported it. Northern leaders ignored every alarm until their own political and economic interests came under threat. A 6-month mining suspension is not a courageous move. It is a late admission of complicity. The same elite who shielded terror financiers, negotiated with criminals, paid ransom under the table, released arrested bandits to maintain peace, are now calling for state police. If established without strict check, state police in the hands of governors who cannot even manage education, transparency, or local government autonomy may become an instrument of ethnic domination, tools for political thuggery, paramilitary wing of entrenched interests legalize banditry under state authority. So guys, this is what this lawyer wrote. He even wrote the number 6 point, which he said, if northern leaders are serious about ending insecurity, they must first admit we caused this. They must also undo their past mistakes, dismantle ideological support for banditry, end selective justice, reinforce constitutional supremacy over Sharia criminal law, mandate compulsory education for all children, punish terror financiers, stop shielding extremist clerics and warlords, empower communities instead of silencing them, undo them. Until then, no communique or 1 billion deduction can rescue the North from the fire its leaders ignited. So this is coming from this human rights lawyer, and he sounded the warning. Now, I'm going to allow you to take a look at the moment a northerner himself is saying the same thing. I mean, somebody from the North, but he's a Christian, but he has come out to say these northern leaders, what they are doing is unbelievable. The way they even manage the funds of the state, they don't care about sending the children in the North to school, and majority of these out of school children, these almajiris, are the ones joining these terror groups. When they come from neighboring countries, they easily join them and begin to rain terror on Nigeria. Take your time and watch this video and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
Well, this is just a panicky approach to security. When you wake up and say you are contributing ₦1 billion every month times 19 billion naira, to do what with that money? Where is the blueprint? What are they going to do in specific with that money? When you have no blueprint and you gather money, you file up money, the money will end up either being squandered or being wasted away. Nothing to implement it on. Number two, they are running away from the reality on ground. The reality on ground is that there is a linear, direct, indirect, and tangential relationship between poverty, unemployment, illiteracy, and insecurity. They can surrender the entire budget of the state if they like. But as long as there is no investment in education, in agriculture, in youth training, in so many critical factors and infrastructure, for that long they can continue contributing any amount of money they want, but security is going to elude them. As long as they don't checkmate themselves, the extravagant expenditures being incurred by most of the governors explains why there is no security, not only in the North, but all over the country. When you find at the main cost of local and foreign travel by a governor, golfing more than 30 billion naira in 1 year, actually in less than 1 year, and you go to the same state, go to the Ministry for Health, you find the entire budget for the whole ministry for over 8-9 million people is less than 10 billion naira. If you go to Ministry for Youth and Women Affairs, the amount budgeted is less than 2 billion naira. If you go to agriculture, the amount is less than 10 billion naira. But in the office of a particular governor, 30 billion, 40 billion allocated for what? For admin and traveling. Anybody with that mentality and is telling you that he's serious about security is only deceiving himself and also deceiving you. We need to have a practical approach. When you say you want state police, how, when? People have been calling for this state police for the last 10 years. They have been ignoring it. Now they want state police. What approach? Which structure is on ground for the state police? State police is very, very desirable. I am for state police, but not in the fire brigade approach. There is no state in Nigeria that doesn't have retired DIG, retired AIG, retired director DSS, retired director from prisons, retired director from immigration, retired director from civil defense, but they are not tapping into the experiences of these retirees who know the game better than anybody. Rather, some of them see them as enemies. As long as we don't bring in critical stakeholders, As long as government doesn't discharge its own responsibilities, as long as monies are being squandered and spent at will, for that long we'll just continue crying about insecurity, but insecurity will continue to challenge us.
Yeah, Mr. Madi, yeah, if I may comment, I know you've raised concern about lack of prudence on the part. I think it's across board, from federal government to state, where we've said, a friend of mine would say, is the moral hazard they have to bear for emotionally unintelligent expenditure, given the paucity of funds that we have as a people, yet we see them spending this money. Where I'm going to with that is insecurity is biting really hard. So in terms of prioritization, don't you think that is an urgent situation that needs to be addressed? Then we can backtrack to these positive factors that you've listed, which are quite correct.
The truth is that there has been total neglect in the past. People were complaining they are being ignored. At one time, in a certain state, only 10 local governments were under the hand of bandits. Today in that state, 20 local governments are gasping. They are under siege. They are under the control of bandits. If you take the entire north, northwest, northeast, north central, almost 60% have been run over by bandits. And surprisingly, when Katsina was under siege, Kanu and Jigawa folded their arms. And then they forgot about what is called the contagious effect theory. Now Kanu is affected. Jigawa is affected. When Zamfara was under siege, Sokoto and Kebbi folded their arms. Now Sokoto and Kebbi are under siege. Now, if you go to Niger axis, it's over now to Kogi, it's now to Kwara, it's now to Edo, it's Ondo. You see, it is just going on like a bushfire. It is now a national disaster on account of total neglect and ignoring of clarion calls of citizens who mean well were ignored. Voices were ignored. In a society where you find a government spending billions of naira to buy vehicles for traditional rulers, same vehicles that they cannot drive now on the highway. Most of them that go to Abuja or come to Kaduna or go to Lagos for a meeting, they go on chartered flights. They can never drive those limousine cars. In a society where you give priority for luxury, you abandon education, abandon agriculture, abandon healthcare, abandon youth unemployment is there in millions. That society can continue pretending. That society is entitled to pretend. Those leaders are entitled to their own make-believe, but insecurity will continue being a challenge as long as we don't do the right thing. As long as we don't spend money meant for the public in the interest of the public. As long as we continue to personalize collective wealth of the nation by few people are holding the entire country to ransom. For example, Ned Nwako, not Nwodo, the senator, his committee said that they have discovered $306 billion, almost 484 trillion, questionable, doubtable, unaccounted for at NNPCL from 2017 to 2023. As if that was not enough, Senator Wadada, Chairman Senate Committee on Public Accounts, also said that 210 trillion need to be explained by NNPC. Just yesterday, day before yesterday, 17 trillion naira was spent by NNPC on what? On guiding pipeline at the rate of 1.5 trillion per month. A total of over 600 trillion naira is being questioned under just one organization. You have not gone to NPA, you have not gone to the NIMASA, you have not gone to Central Bank, you have not gone to so many organizations, FIRS, to find out the Squandamania.
Well, Mr. Madi,
that is money that is more than enough to make everybody comfortable.
Right.
Money that is more than enough to even help other countries is money being personalized by few people that are breaching the trust of the public.
Well, quite a number of issues you have raised, Mr. Madi, and you sort of focused on, government spending, use of public resources. You also talked about investing in education agriculture, and youth development. Interestingly, these are the things being targeted by the terrorists. Education, schools being attacked, students being abducted, agriculture as well, farmlands being targeted, youth, a lot of these youths being recruited into the terrorist or bandit cells. So almost as though they are targeting what government should be doing and harnessing that for their own nefarious activities. But fundamentally, Mr. Madi, I want you to speak to this point, because one of our guests earlier on talked about, the advent of terrorism, 1980, Metasini, and all of that, and how it has built up. In fact, he referenced, and I believe, Bauchi State Governor about 6 years ago, where he was talking about, the movement of people, how people can actually move and they shouldn't have restrictions and all of that. And these communities have said time and again that one, we know where these terrorists are hiding. We don't think government is doing enough. In fact, government also know where these people are hiding. So I wonder for you, what is the fundamental issue here that looks like is holding government back from acting? When I say government, I mean government, security agencies, and the rest. Are they afraid, and what are they afraid of?
No, just look at the manner and the pattern and the processes through which leaders emerge in Nigeria. Here you are in a country where a person is in a locality, and every locality is a well-known criminal, well-known lawbreaker, well-known offender, known to everybody. Yet, somewhere, somehow, that person emerges to become a local government chairman, a councillor, to become a member House of Assembly, to become member House of Reps, a senator, a governor. He can occupy the highest office in Nigeria. A person that emerges through that process, fully aware of his credentials as a criminal, will be a person that will have no courage, will have no guts, will have no audacity, will have no temerity to checkmate crime because he is part of the crime cycle. Number two, we abandoned competence for anything goes. Just look at what is happening now. Open your eyes well. Look at the entire political horizon. See the people in charge. You will cry for Nigeria. It's only in Nigeria where somebody who was in prison, charged for murder of a cabinet minister, collected his nomination form while in prison, filled in the form, was not even there during the convention, was given the ticket, and he became a senator while in the prison. And up to now, the case of about that minister that he is suspected to have facilitated in killing is still nowhere in the courts. In a society where somebody is facing EFCC charges of multi-billion naira fraud from his own state, he was being charged to court almost a week, in the next 1 week. The moment his name emerged as a ministerial nominee, the investigation went down completely. He appeared at the Senate, he was cleared. Everybody looked away from that crime. Many of them are there in the National Assembly, State Assembly, at local government level, at every strata of the society. A society where criminals are being celebrated, criminals are being compensated in a manner of speaking. That society must go into prayers. In a society where you negotiate with criminals, you give money to criminals, you give cash to criminals, you even surrender yourself to criminals. That society is a society that must go on prayers. It's a society that must ask its own honest question. Are we willing to go down completely, or are we willing to save ourselves? Well, apparently, Nigerians, both the leaders and the led, are not willing to save a society.
Well, Mr. Madi, pardon me to quickly come in here.
Sunk down.
Pardon me to quickly come in here. And you've talked about drastic measures. The Minister of Defense resigned late yesterday on health grounds, and there's going to be security rejigging, we imagine. I remember in 2014, then President Goodluck Jonathan, just right after the abduction of Chibok girls, 200 and something of them, was asked to resign by now President Bola Tinubu. Over 300 students have been abducted in Niger State and more being abducted. Is it fair to then call on the president to resign, as a lot of people have called, saying that the figures look even worse than then during Jonathan's time?
You see, it is what is called nemesis and karma. Jonathan was blackmailed. Using what? Using Boko Haram. By who? By desperate politicians who are out for power at all costs. They were all over. They went to America, they went everywhere. They want Jonathan what? Removed. Jonathan, being a gentleman, fully aware that he was being blackmailed, went and even congratulated Buhari. He stepped aside. 10 years down the line, Jonathan must be laughing in his private bedroom now. 10 years down the line, Jonathan will feel vindicated now. 10 years along the line, they are reaping exactly what they sow, that of blackmail, that of hate, that of desperation for power that they planted 10 years ago, they are now harvesting. It is karma at play. It is nemesis at play. The same politician now that are running helter-skelter, contributing $1 billion naira, spending trillions of naira, buying drones, are the same people that blackmailed Jonathan. Therefore, it is a warning that every day could be for the thief, one day could be for the owner. You can continue to blackmail, you can continue to intimidate, you can continue to arrest, you can continue to pretend, but a harvest day always awaits the pretenders, the blackmailers, and the intimidators. This is the rule of God. This is the law of God.
Mr. Mahdi, you're making very weighty, comments, or if you like, allegations, as the case may be. You say back then, desperate politicians using Boko Haram blackmailed former President Jonathan, and they're the same who are now buying equipment, who are buying drones. It seems like this will not go away in the polity. Just yesterday, ex-CDS General Rabo was saying that some politicians are funding terrorism. Prior to that time, some other speakers have said there are certain persons, even in the government, that are funding terrorism. How does that relate really to also, or contrasts with the decision of the northern governors to suspend mining in the north? And we've heard, also that some foreign nationals are also fueling banditry in Nigeria's north. How does this all tie together?
See, let them give you the list of people they granted mining license. If you see the list, you will cry. I have the list up to 2024. I don't have that of 2025, but if you look at the characters and the characterization of the people given the license for mining, your mouth will drop. If you travel to Dubai airport, Dubai, they have no gold at all. In the entire space of Dubai, there is no single deposit of gold. But now Dubai is a heaven for gold. And 65% of the gold going to Dubai is coming from Africa. Of the 65%, 42 comes from Nigeria. Go to Dubai airport, go to the declaration desk, and see how raw gold is being declared for entry into Dubai. It's not illegal. You can take any quantum of gold, especially if it is raw, to Dubai, and you will have your dollar paid to you there instantly and instantaneously. Therefore, it is not the mining. They would never suspend mining. The owners of mining license are more powerful than the owners of oil wells in the south. They are powerful.
All right, Mr. Mahdi, we're totally out of time.
And
my apologies, Mr. Mahdi. I think your point is well noted, but for want of time. But you've made very, very strong statement that I'm sure everyone has paid attention to. But I must thank you so much, Mr. Shehu Mahdi, public affairs analyst who joins us virtually for this part of the conversation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If you know the financiers, you don't try them in public. A lot of them are being under the scrutiny. They've been under the scrutiny for a long while.
No,
but these are not
trial
things.
is different from
from
tracking
by scrutiny.
Yeah,
I mean trial. I mean identified.
Yeah, but why is it hidden? I don't understand.
Some of them local, international. Right? So trust me, it's not as if the government is not doing anything. The government has done a lot. In recent times, under the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a lot is being done. A lot of them can't even ever think of financing anybody anymore.
Yeah, but
So
who are these people?
Work is in progress.
Who are these people? Why can't we know who they are?
No, the security.
I don't understand how you mean
You
security.
don't put their names.
If somebody is a criminal and is killing people and has led to the deaths of people, it is a major success for the government if that person is brought to book.
Yes,
and it shows the rest of us
But
that
a
the government is
responsible
doing.
government would also showcase that person at the appropriate time.
And when might that be?
Very soon. Very, very, very soon. Trust me, work is in progress. The government is working. They're tracking. They're trying, these people.
So guys, let me quickly take you through some of the reactions from Nigerians after the United States asked the Tinubu's government to act fast. Here it says, who then wants us again for election? Who then want use again for election if them disarm them? This person say if they disarm them, the terrorists are pampered in Nigeria. Look at the persecution of Oshowore, Nnamdi Kanu, and other freedom fighters. I think it makes sense, you know. Shame on Nigerian government, honestly. After watching this video, you will understand why they can't do what you ask. This other person here say, interesting that the US government won't sell modern fighter jets, arms and ammunition to Nigeria, and even when you sell less modern jets like the A-29 Tucano fighter jets late Buhari bought during Trump's first term, they placed serious restriction on its usage, then blame Nigeria. This one says the same way they cover and shield ballot box snatchers, vote buyers, and riggers, armed talks, disrupting election year to year out when the law is against it. Government never hold anybody to account. Evil continue to grow because it benefits them, yet they claim to love Nigeria. Nigerian government shouldn't stop at disarming the terrorists. They should send the bloody sucking demons to God for outright judgment. There is no need to rehabilitate the people that have wasted innocent souls, including that of our security agents. This person said the United States should understand that our leaders our leaders here tend to prioritize winning votes over protecting human lives. Wow. Their focus is often on political gain rather than addressing the real need and well-being of the people. Wow. This is a nice one. This is the simplest solution. Tinubu will either bring them to justice or his administration will face ugly justice, beginning with the leak of his drug files in America. Hey, Tinubu is in problem, honestly. And then this person here said, the US should also do the necessary to expunge the Sharia law. Sharia is the main feeder road to radicalization, the youths and their turn, and to radicalize the youths and turn them into terrorists. Then this person here said, From all indications, Tinubu is still wickedly, unwillingly to use the Nigerian military and other security agencies to ruthlessly annihilate those satanic Islamic terrorists who are operating and committing genocide against Nigeria, particularly Christian in Nigeria. If Tinubu government do slow action, it would have been better they do no action. And then this other person here say, this is only just and fair to ask. No reasonable and functional government negotiates with government. If you do, you can't stop the terrorism. If you do, you can't stop, and terrorism will continue with rippling effect. So these are Nigerians reacting to Trump's order, and this person here say, at this moment they are not doing that. They allow Nigerians to surrender to terrorists, pay taxes, and lose confidence in the state. A country where a sitting governor visits an indicted terrorist at a prison in Sokoto. This one is talking about nnamdi Kanu. Can you imagine? And this one here says, it is beyond disgrace that foreign lawmakers are the ones calling out the failure of the sovereign state, and not the clowns in the Nigerian National Assemblies who are debating silly bills, defecting, and eating rice in Remi Tinubu's house. How did we fall so low as a nation? And this other person here say, intrusion into our national affair. The United States has absolutely no right to indicate to us how we should live, govern ourselves, or practice our faith as Nigeria. Nigeria is a sovereign nation with our own constitution, democratic institution, cultural values, and other frameworks. You see, these are northerners. Now you know we have a sovereign state. That's no brainer for a sensible government. Elections have consequences. APC and their rat tax will not allow us hear something. Some of them are even calling Nnamdi Kanu into this and abusing Governor Oti for visiting him. Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist and cannot be. The world knows who terrorists are, and their government are with them. Governor Oti is not among them. And this person said, bring them to justice. That then, what is justice in Nigeria? So guys, let me know your thoughts on these reactions in the comment section below. Thank you.